Okay, so here we go. Now, we do have a highlight in her hair there. And I think we're going to want to save some of the white on that. So I'm going to go around that. Actually, that's not. Now, okay, so that's too dark. So all you got to do is take some of the, dip your brush in the water. Not easy to talk and paint at the same time. And then before that dries, just go in there and pull some of it around like that. And I can soften this a little bit. I'll go right to the edge with a wet brush, just soften that a little bit. A few wisps in here, there. And I want this to come to a point. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go right into the eye socket. Now in this case, I will leave a little bit of a highlight on the upper lid. But I do want to go right in the eye, right over the sclera. Now this is a little more careful painting. I'm going to give you, it's going to take me more than 2 minutes, definitely. Now I'll go right into this shadowy area. I can go right across the nose and underneath the nose into the nostril area. Okay. Now this eye. I'll leave a little highlight there. But then the rest all goes into this light value, and that goes right into the hair, not too dark, because later on we're going to want this outer part of the hair, we're going to want that to contrast with this darker part of the hair that's going behind her head. We want to be very careful around the cheek here. We don't want to eat into the cheek. Okay, so far we're doing pretty good. My mother's straight out of England. She was a World War II bride, so I'll say pretty good, but I'll never say fantastic. I would have needed her to be an Italian mother. But being English, we're very reserved. You wouldn't know that with me, but
No, that was lost something.
that was my father's side. He was an American staff sergeant in the Army Air Corps. He brought my mother and her family all sorts of wonderful, he was a supply sergeant. So he had access to all sorts of different food things that they could only dream of.
Stole our heart.
Yeah, they actually had a wedding cake.
Wow.
Oh, look, I got a little blue on it. Well, no, the phthalo's showing up a little more. Now look, I'm going to go right into the hair. And there are really no strong highlights in the hair. And that neck, there we go. And no borders here. We want to go right into the hair on the other side of the neck. Curves around. But I'm keeping it, I'm not going too dark, because I am going to want a contrast later on between the dark part of the hair and the lighter part of the hair. I'll give a little bit of a tone there. There, I'm looking now. Gotta get rid of that highlight. Now I do have right here and here, I have two little holidays. Holidays are areas where you've missed, because you see when I paint, I'm just not going in one direction, you know, vertically or sideways. I move my brush around. So if you move your brush around, sometimes you'll miss areas. And that's okay. That gives your painting some sparkle. We're now going to go to the middle value.
Oh,
And then the dark value.
okay.
Okay. So here we go. Now I've got to use the right colors. I believe That was phthalo, and I'm gonna mix up a big, look at that. Phthalo goes a long, long ways. And then I'm going to take this, my cool red, to get my lavender, and I need a lot of it. There we go. I think that's gonna work. Okay, so there's my puddle, ready to rock and roll, ready to rock and vibe. Okay, I want to frame the face with the hair. And we're just going to go middle value. I'm going to start up here. It gets a little thinner. And no unnecessary borders. I'm going to go right into the crease, the upper crease and the upper lid. I'm going to render a little bit of the eyebrow. I'm going to go the lower crease of the upper eyelid and right into, and this pupil is so small that I'm going to just rely on my Signo, what did I call it?
Ball, signal ball, uniball.
Uniball. You know what? It looks like I'm using a large brush, aren't I?
It looks huge.
You're doing a great job.
And you know, I'm seeing areas, it's not perfect, but you know, I don't think it's going to matter. I think I'm still going to get a good lightness. There. Okay, now the other eye. Eyebrow, and I'm going to stop pretty soon. And I went into the white of the eye a little bit, but it's still wet, so I can strategically, yeah, that got a little dry, so what I can do is I'll take my, my flat brush, and I'll pull some of that paint off. And actually, you know, if I lose a little bit of this, I don't think it's going to matter. I'll just take a little bit of that off. Now I want to do the other side of the face, or the hair. And right here, there. A little difficult painting like this without the overhead, but that's okay. I'm still going to do it because when I get my brush over here, look, I'm getting a deep shadow.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. I can still do it. That's the attitude you have to have. Leaving a few highlights here for strands of hair that are picking up light. There we go. A little bit of dark to start to bring out the jawline right there. Now I want to be aware of darks and lights, especially down here. I'm even going to take a strand of hair and cut it across the throat like right here. You know, hair does not go in one direction. You can get strands of hair going in different directions and cutting across the general direction of the hair. Okay. Now, I want to soften this edge a little, so I'll do it with a dry brush. There. And then right here, you know what, I'm going to go a little further on this. I think you guys can do it. Need a little more red. I'm losing red. You get that purpley color. Look, this is a shape. I'm just doing a shape. And as it comes down, it curves and it gets thinner. That didn't get quite as thin. You know what, that's okay. And then right here, it's darker. Right there. We'll cut across some hair like that. There we go. Oh, and the cheek here, I want that to be a little softer. I don't want this. There we go. That softens that. And then I'll finish up with the nose, but middle value only. The nostril, right there. A little bit right there. And then around the nose flange, and it goes right into the nostril. And just a little bit darker, and then that goes right into the upper lip, like that. I'm going to leave some of these hard lines. I want it to be a little more chiseled. I have a tendency to do too much damn blending. A little bit there. Oh, and she's got eyeshadow on, so I'll come out right here. See how I'm following the value pattern. I'm doing my best. Doing my best.
This is good for you.
Yeah, good for, I'm missing that.
They look like Shans are running over this morning.
That's it. I'm going to start again
Some of them have been.
with the hair.
Big about us, we got one that we don't use it. Too complicated for us to sell.
Do you erase any of your pencil marks?
I always leave my pencil work.
Oh, okay.
Here's for Joe.
And you know, think of this, we're doing a sketch. It doesn't have to be perfecto. You know, right now I'm thinking, oh, I think I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm not going to do all that. I just want it to be, and there's nothing more beautiful than a sketch.
Picasso always left.
Yeah. And especially when you're working this small, you don't need a lot of details.
Alex? Yes. Come here. Could you
Okay, now the eye.
I got Ann a picture. You pull this over like this and get a Xerox copy of it so it looks nice. You give me a couple copies of it.
I'll tell you, the nice thing about standing is you can get away from the painting and evaluate it. But it's amazing what you can get away with, and you don't have to go in with a lot of detail. I do have to bring some of this dark out like this. That looks good. I could work a little more on that, but I'm going to go to the other eye now. I want to see how these eyes work together. And then that will help me determine what I want to do next. And I want to get that pupil going right underneath the upper lid.
This is butter?
Yeah, actually, I have a fair amount of water, so it's more like cream. More. You can see how much water I'm using. Okay. Now this is awful dark on this side, so I think I'm going to take a little off. There. I'm going to take a little off here. Get a nice thirsty brush. Okay, that's looking good. Now I'm going to go this other eye. Darken up the eyebrow a little here. I can go with a little larger brush. I want to get that just a little bit darker. There, I think that looks good. I'll stop with that. You want to move around the painting and see how everything works together in a holistic way.
All right.
Like that word.
That's a good one.
There's the nose. Soften that a little bit. A little bit darker right here. And right here, a little bit of darkness right on the, that's the ball of the nose. That looks good. Now the mouth, where the lips meet. Comes up, goes down a little, lifts up a little right there. And then here, on this other side, it's really a lot lighter. So I don't want to make that too dark. And it's the photograph that's telling me everything. I got a little bit, let's soften that. Let's lose that edge. Okay. Now, let's bring out the bottom lip. A little bit of dark right here. A little bit right here on the ball of the chin. This is a little too dark. I want to soften that. And I'm going to define this just a little bit. I'm not going to blend it too much. Okay, not perfect, but it's looking okay. This is just a small sketch. Okay, now I'm going to take a break from the face. Get myself some butter. Oh, gotta get the right balance of blue and red. There we go. Okay. Some more dark in the hair, and I'm going to bring out the face more. So the magic's going to happen right here. Right there. Get darker. So let's bring out the chin. I mean, it's not happening in the photo, artistic license, I'm just bringing out a few errors. Now I'm running out of paint. If you're running out of paint, don't keep painting. You gotta recharge your palette. Okay, and just a little bit right here. More on the red side. Some more red in there. So, you know, I'm making decisions as I'm going along. I'm looking at the painting. Okay, I'm going to soften this a little bit with a clean brush. I need a little more red in here. There. Oop, a little darker. Sometimes you gotta press down on the brush and really be bold. Scary. But it's only a quarter sheet. What?
Right?
Big deal, big deal. Yeah, I know. The painting goes south. You start to, you know, you cry, you use all sorts of terrible language that you're not supposed to use, but of course we do, because we got to get that anger out and that frustration. And then you cook some dinner, you have a few glasses of wine, and try it again, because you got your master tracing. Okay. Ooh, that's real dark, but not to worry. Soften that. I'm making this a little darker than it should be, but it's looking good. Now the painting's taking over and kind of telling me what to do. Let's get some butter, not too much paint, because I want it really dark here, but I don't want it to go all over the place. A bit darker right there. Okay, I want to separate the mouth. I'm almost done. I want to separate the mouth a little bit more. Looking okay?
Put the brush down there.
Yeah, it's a little elongated. We got kind of, who was the Renaissance Spanish painter?
The Grec in that one.
It looks a little El Greco-ish.
Old Greco-ish. Modigliani. Well, I was thinking Modigliani too. I
Always put stuff all over.
face now.
Yeah.
He's a little too dark.
Blemishes, blemishes. Yeah. I think that's great.
Okay, I'll stop. You can overdo that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know if it's done yet, but you know, after the hors d'oeuvres we're going to have, and you know, the shrimp, and I'll come back to it, take a look at it, we'll see. It's only a sketch. It's only a little sketch. Thank you. Oh, thank you.